Hello, friends and traders. Welcome to Market Recap. I am Dan Hodgman. It is Wednesday, September 2nd. We now have 2 full days of the month of September in the books. I hope you guys have all had a good day. I hope you were long S&Ps basically all day long after our little break off the open there because, man, oh, man, that thing just keeps going. Or maybe you were just short crude oil. That wouldn't have been a bad trade either. We saw some volatility here today. And speaking of volatility, I haven't personally looked into it, but I'm being told that the VIX, we're at an all-time high VIX for being since 2000 for being on all-time highs in the equities. So with equities being at all-time highs, this is the highest the VIX has been, which is kind of interesting if you think about it. Over the last 2 years or so, we've been continuously kind of marking those all-time highs in the equity markets, and typically when that's happening, volatility is insanely low. We're sitting at that 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 in the VIX. I think right now we're sitting 27, 20, just under 27 right now. So it's kind of interesting to think about that. And that just makes us keep our eyes on things, makes us a little bit more cautious with everything that can happen. Pretty wild to see the Dow Jones is almost to those all-time highs. That's up on the year so far. And about 400-ish points off of all-time highs. So we'll see. Maybe we can close the week out in the Dow all the way up there if we have good jobs numbers. It's possible. Wouldn't be surprised to see another 450-day here this week with the way things are going. News has been good, and therefore these markets just want to keep rocketing to the moon. NASDAQ was the one that kind of lagged today. NASDAQ held back just slightly, but that's all right. I mean, NASDAQ's still the strongest of all of them. Across the board, NASDAQ continues to take off. I'm still kind of pumped to see this range that we saw in crude oil. I think it's the biggest range since early August, around August 5th or so. We're looking at over almost a $2 range. So we'll take a look at that. And let's just go ahead and take a look at some of these other markets and see where some of the opportunity was. And hopefully we'll all be able to take advantage of some of the moves. Okay. All right, here we go. And by the way, I fixed my charts. I finally have the full daily chart here in crude oil. And as you can see, massive range. It was due for some sort of directional trade, some sort of directional day. And I think we just, we're right at just under that $2 range here today. Truly volatile. What really happened? Well, first off, just for perspective, we had settlement price up here at 42.76. So market opened up, came down, checked settlement price, and just continued. As soon as we saw the number come out and the draw was bigger than expected, I think it was 9.4 million barrels, we had the emotion. That emotion shot this market right to settlement price. And now I'm going to sit here and say, man, you know how much I love settlement price, but that was not the trade. That was right at 930. That was still that emotional reaction to the number. This market continued to give back a little bit, came back to neutral, and now is where we can start to say, hey, we're pulling more out. Things are happening. Market direction right now is going lower. It is telling us that. We could look for that short there. That would have been the opportunity. And then, I mean, obviously, we blew right past our 42.60, continued going. I started to think maybe 41.60 could be the bottom. We went even lower, all the way down to 41.23. Big range on this market. We'll see if this kind of can continue for the next couple days. That'd be exciting, right? S&Ps, on the other hand, a little bit of a volatility on the open. Market broke, came right back towards settlement price. Settlement price was 35.26 and 3/4. So we never really got all the way down to settles. It made the push. It made that attempt, but we kind of got caught in some overnight congestion areas. Market scooped it up right there. It was off to the races. And you know what? I got long down in here as well. And I stopped out at the overnight high. I said, I'm getting out. I'm taking my profits and I'm running away. I missed a big, huge chunk of this move, but I was pretty content walking away profitable. We haven't really seen the big trending regular trading hour sessions in some time, so I wasn't going to sit there and wait for this thing to turn back on me. And so I looked at it here at 55. I went ahead and jumped out and said enough's enough for myself. But, man, it kept going, and part of me wishes I stayed in it. Could have got another 30 points. That would have been a nice little win there. Next, let's go ahead and look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ, like I said, was a little bit more of a laggard here compared to the S&P 500. We made the move. This one moved right down towards settlement price. Kind of held out there. Settlement is 12,313. So right up here, market kind of worked around it for a little while. Was trying to decide what direction it wanted to go. And I think just the momentum and everything else said, all right, NASDAQ's got to get a little bit of a light up above settlement price. Never got to make all-time highs during the regular trading hours. But again, good volume, still bringing in new buyers here consistently. Gold, on the other hand, gold and the currencies, it makes sense that they kind of took a tumble. The dollar is still continuing to look a little bit stronger. I think the dollar is right around 93 now. If you remember 2 days ago, we were down about 91. So the dollar is creeping higher. Therefore, this is not anything to be a concern that this market might break down. If the dollar's doing well, it's going to bring the value of products based in the dollar lower, right? And so that's what we had here. The dollar just opened up a little bit stronger, continued to trend higher. Therefore, gold took a slip, and people are looking at that correlation. That's one of the major correlations to keep an eye on. What's the dollar doing, and how are these things based off of in that U.S. currency doing in relation to that? And that kind of adds up for us. So this market settled yesterday at 1978, and really we took one look at it in the middle of the night. Once the market opened, it was a pretty steady sell-off all day long, down to 38. Next, let's look at the currencies, and again, like I was just talking about with the gold there, anything based in that U.S. dollar, what the euro here is, we should expect it to sell off just a little bit. Same thing here. This market, huge sell-off in the overnight, and we continued just a little bit for the first part of the session, but we started to kind of find, and if you think about it, if you watched that coach's playbook yesterday, we talked about these points of control. We have this unchecked point of control here. Market came back down, checked it out, and that may have been a little bit of a target area that caught people's eye, and that's kind of where buyers were scooping this thing back up. Lastly, let's go ahead and look at the yen. Yen was relatively quiet all day long here. Very tight range. Value area from 22 down to 14. So very tight range for us here today. 8 points, $8. And this is what we need to be thinking about when we're trading the yen. We really, for regular trading hours, really want to set some sort of range for us to kind of use as a guideline when we're trading. All right. So this is what we got here in the markets here today. I hope you guys, like I said, all had a really great day. I know I sure did. Today was a fun one, and definitely counting down the days to the long weekend we got coming up here, which I hope you guys are going to take advantage of as well. Monday will be abbreviated trading hours, and I believe the funded traders won't be trading with us, but I would recommend anyone out there, half day. It's a major U.S. holiday. It's the end of the summer. I can sit here and honestly tell you institutional traders won't be doing anything. They're going to use these next couple of days to get what they call position delta neutral. They're going to do their best to do that. They may have someone managing that delta on a Monday, Sunday night into Monday, but it's a small-time guy who's not making any trade decisions, just managing that delta neutral. So I'm going to sit here and say, let's all take Monday off. We won't be here. John and I are going to be enjoying some time off. I can promise you that. And I think taking that time away, you guys know I relish in my time off. I really do appreciate it, and I use it as much as I possibly can. And that helps with the trading, and I can't stress that one enough. Doesn't matter if you're in a rut or if you're doing well, taking some time off benefits all of us. So say hello to Scott, Steve, and Norman. Norman, is there one cancels the other orders in future? Not sure what you mean by that, Norman. I'm assuming you're just asking. I'm really not sure. If you can clarify that question, I'd be happy to answer that. Just looking around, like I was mentioning, no major news. I feel like the only news that I keep seeing out there is Nancy Pelosi getting busted, getting her hair cut in San Francisco when salons are supposed to be closed. But jobs numbers Friday. Unemployment, non-farm payrolls. This is a big deal. This could really determine if these markets take off to the upside. If it's a good jobs number, which I really hope it is, if it's a good jobs number, we may see this thing just continuing the trend we're going. Now, if it turns around, if it's a bad number, we could see this thing start to turn. There we go. If it's a bad number, we could see this thing start to turn around. Like I was saying, volatility is really high. People are hesitant. People are ready to click that dump my position, get out of all my longs, and step away from the other. Normal, when one limit order activates, the other orders cancel. Yeah, it depends on what platform you're using. You got auto OCOs you can use. You can, and TS Trader, I think it's called. I know it's called bracket orders. You can set your bracket orders, dollar value, tick value. You can have it all set. Each platform's different, so you're gonna have an OCO or brackets, something along those lines. All right. So, like I said, I do have one interesting piece of news. I just got a notification on a little bit ago from Wall Street Journal. Robinhood is getting investigated by the SEC and some of the things that they're not disclosing. That one's kind of interesting to me, and that's a story I'm going to follow along pretty well, or pretty closely. So, Robinhood under investigation by the SEC. We knew it was coming, right? They've been getting in a little bit of trouble here lately, and so we'll keep an eye on what goes on there. All right. Other than that, that's our major news. Tesla kind of stumbles a little bit more here today, down at 440. What we're seeing makes complete sense. People that were holding these fulls are starting to kind of get out of that position a little bit and slow things down. Like I said, VIX just under 27, so we are spiking. VIX is high. We're more than double where we were in the beginning of February. That's what we got tomorrow morning. Jobless claims, it's really the only major number. Goods and service trade, also both of those 7:30 a.m. Central Time. And a couple bond and note auctions. That's going to be our day tomorrow. At this point, let's go ahead and take a look at this date in history. First off, this first one's I'm excited about. On this day, September 2nd, 1945, Japan surrenders, signaling the end of World War II, aka VJ Day. What else do we got? I think I got a couple more in here. 1666, the Great London Fire began. That was tragic. And then the last one, this one gave me a chuckle. 1969. The first ever ATM, automatic teller machine, is put to use. Other than that, guys, that's what I got here. I hope you all had a great day and have a great evening. John will be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central Time with the market forecast. Until then, stay safe, wash your hands, trade well, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the market.